Welcome to the second video of our Bible study how-to series. Today I'm going to be talking about doing what God tells you. My name is Ben and I am honored to be able to walk through this with you. We're going to be looking at James 1:19 through 27. And as I read this, there were 3 points that stuck out to me that I wanted to pass along as you study this in your small groups. The number one of those being that hearing is different than listening. And I think that's an important thing to acknowledge. In the beginning of verse 21, it says, "Put away filthiness and receive the word with meekness." That word meekness, you could consider that like humbleness, with no pride or thinking that you're big and tough, humbly receiving the word. And notice it says receive the word, not simply hear it. To use an analogy of the difference, let's say I'm scrolling on Instagram, sitting on the couch, and my wife comes in and says, "Hey, will you unload the dishwasher and put the laundry away that you haven't done?" And I go, "Oh, yeah, okay, sounds good." When she walks out of the room, am I gonna remember that? No. I may have heard it, but I didn't receive it. So there's an important difference between hearing and receiving. Psalm 119:11 says, "I have stored up your word in my heart that I might not sin against you." So receiving is not just skimming through the pages of the Bible or showing up to church every week, but storing up God's word in your heart. But then you have to be doing as well. That brings me to my second point, which is knowledge without action is meaningless. So if you have all the biblical knowledge in the world and you have studied the Bible, read it all through 3 times, and there's no action that's coming from that or fruit that's being born from that, it's meaningless. Verse 22 says to be doers. It says be doers of the word and not hearers only. So it's not enough to just hear or receive, but you need to be doer. You need to be doing as well. And that brings me to my third point, which is sometimes not doing is just as important as doing. The discipline to abstain from things is just as important as doing certain things. So it's all great if you are on fire and you're opening the doors for old ladies and you're helping people out and you're spending all your time volunteering. But in the last little bit of this passage, it says, "If anyone thinks he is religious and does not bridle his tongue but deceives his heart, that person's religion is worthless." So are you bridling your tongue? Are you bridling your desires? Are you bridling your lust or passion or need for money or fulfillment in other things? So in summary, you need to hear, but you also need to receive, and you need to do. So the challenge this week is to pick one thing in your life that you can change to be more like Christ. So as you set out this week for to complete that challenge, be thinking of ways that you can hear, receive, and do. Thank you so much. We will see you in Bible study next week.